I don't expect you to believe my story. I can hardly believe it, and I have lived it. When I was a teenager, I knew what I wanted, to travel the world and have enough money to have the freedom to do so. I got an early start, but that didn't go well. I feel a big shift coming, and I want to share where I've been. I want to get good at just talking to the camera, one shot, one take. To keep this short, I'm going to read this so I don't ramble. I'm good at rambling. I grew up in a family that moved up from poor to middle class. I went in the Navy when I was 17 to travel. It was by far the biggest mistake of my entire life. I've had a lot of health issues, and those are other stories. This is my money story for today, for this video. I had plenty of money in the Navy. I worked massive hours. I earned about $17,000 per year. I had no expenses, so every dollar I spent was basically entertainment. So it was the equivalent of about $20,000 or more. It was the late 80s. While my peers were all completely broke, I saved my money. I also spent money whenever I wanted to do something. I bought the thing, I did the thing. I met my stockbroker when I was 16. He was my father's stockbroker at the time. A few years later, I sent him a check for $5,000 and I started investing. When I got out, I had $40,000 to $50,000, and I basically struggled every day since getting out. In my 20s, I did some schooling and odd jobs. I did work for a full year, saved up my money for a 5-year trip to Australia and New Zealand. It was by far the best trip and time of my life in many ways. And it was the proof that the Navy was a complete waste of time for me. Actually, it was more than a waste. I experienced trauma. A couple of years after the trip, I went vegetarian for my health, and my health got worse and worse for 6 years. I had chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, which took me 10 years to recover, most of the time living out of my truck. At my low point, I got 30% disability from the VA. At the time, it was about $300 a month. Now it's a little over $500. It's been a significant part of my income for about 25 years. I did not try to get more because I didn't think I had any proof, and I was bound and determined to get better. That hasn't gone very well. I also left my life at about the same time, which is another big story. I lived out of my truck for most of 16 years. I've been living on about $10,000 per year. Over the years, I've sold off most of my IRA. I still have about $14,000 left. I got a $15,000 inheritance a few years ago when my mother died. Most of that money is gone. Most of that was spent on dealing with health issues. The last 5 years, I've been a guest in my friend's house, and that's coming to an end, next week. I don't have much resources and nowhere to go, but I'm optimistic. Currently, I have chronic fatigue again, or maybe it's the continuation of the tick-borne infection that I've been dealing with for about 3 years. The first half of this year is over, and I earned less than $700. Last month, I earned a whopping $5. I'm also getting food stamps, which helps me out tremendously. So I've got a lot more to share, but that is the basic of my money story. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. I hope this helps someone someday. Please subscribe for more to come.